All right, we're looking at my setup, and we're still debating whether or not to put a rod holder in the front. The whole purpose of having the front clear was so that the cords would be not interfered with. And if the rods were half of this length, then an organizer would work. Or even if they were 24 inches, they would probably fit in an organizer. But because they're 36 inches, they don't fit so well. They could be cut down, and that could be done, but that's additional work that would have to be done in order to make that happen. Now, if that's where you're at, if you want to cut them in half, I'd say go for it. But for me, I think it's going to be easier, and it's kind of a chicken shit answer, but we do have a stock organizer that's already built. And yeah, it's a mess. So what I could do is maybe put an organizer to the side, because these are just glued together with PVC glue. So I could get some smaller pipes and possibly rebuild this or do it differently. We were going to do one that's horizontal for the short stuff, because you can see that the short things, they get kind of lost in there, like this piece of nylon, for example. They get kind of lost in the organizer. And redoing the organizer would probably afford us the luxury of separating the brass from the aluminum from the steel. And of course, the different lengths and all the other odds and ends. And of course, we're losing track of the alumaloy, which may or may not be relevant anymore now that we have a machine that will pretty much do everything. I'm not sure. So maybe it's time we reevaluate what we store and why we store it. So that will be a dialogue for future. But for now, and I do like that organizer, it just may be not being utilized properly, as is the junk on the floor. Since it's scrap from our project, but it can still be used for practice welding. So the question then becomes, how much trash do we keep in order to practice? The answer is, I don't know at the moment. But turning back to the cart, we finally have both bottles hooked up, and I was hoping to get another Victor, but what can I say? In time. As long as it's hooked up. So we have both TIG and MIG ready to go. And the welder's got its blanket on, so it's asleep right now. And we've got our grinder For a rod. We've got a rod all organized. Sort of. We've got our consumables. Sort of. We've got our MIG stuff. This belongs in here. With our consumables. We got our stick stuff. And I'm going to have to start using this stuff up because we're wasting space here and some of it's actually trash. So we'll waste some of it for practice. Our TIG stuff. And we've got 2 torches in here. And then we've got our hoods actually fit. Isn't that nice? Hoods actually fit in here. You don't have to do anything special. Except for close the drawer on the hood. But that's a crappy one, so I don't care. But I think that about wraps it up for this guy. Heavier than hell, harder than hell to move. Doesn't steer worth a shit. But what are you gonna do? Right? It's stable. It's not gonna tip. We're really worried about it tipping over. But it's not gonna tip. So we may have actually done something right for a change. I think it's pretty cool. And the nice thing is all you have to do is plug it in, cable it up, turn on the gas, and you don't have to drag any bottles around anymore. And it's a setup. So I think this one's complete. Thanks for watching.